It's another wonderful opportunity that we've got special guests from One Voice Consortium. Leading the pack is Dr. Trufena Choti, a well-known diasporan who has really done a lot to help the African community live well. With her organization, AfriThrive, she has actually managed to serve at least 700 families. That is in how do we call it, in Washington, Delaware, and Maryland area. A well-known community activist. She's a church elder. She's really doing a lot of wonderful job to ensure our people get food, especially the African. She ensures that the African food is on the table for those people who cannot manage to get one meal a day. So she's really doing a lot with our organization. And by extension, she is the Expo coordinator for OVC, the African Diaspora Expo 2023, which is going actually to start in May 5th till May 7th. So let me not just drink all the juice. Dr. Choti is coming actually to express or to expound a little bit more about AfriThrive and what she's actually doing for OVC. And also in the panel is Mr. Steve Kisandu. Kisandu is a well-known banker. He's done a lot of wonderful work, especially in Africa. I hear he originated from Zanzibar, but we are going to hear more from him. But he's actually done a lot of work, especially to help the African immigrant community who are living in not only in Ohio, but in other states. Then we've got Mr. Martin Anyoli Mark, a wonderful environmentalist who has really also done a lot of work to ensure that everything called environment, sustainability, is actually well taken care of. He really even worked with the Green Belt movement in Kenya, ensuring that our forests are not depleted. So, let me not also say a lot, because he'll definitely come and do his gist by introducing himself. Thank you very much, viewers, and may God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KDR TV.
Thank you.
Sorry, I say lady and gentlemen. So I've got two gentlemen and one lady. So lady and gentlemen, welcome to KDR TV.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. So before we go pretty far, I would like to have one of our ads or our sponsors for this particular show. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
One Voice Consortium is an umbrella organization that brings together over 100 organizations from Africans living in the diaspora. Our vision is to enhance the lifestyle and livelihoods of the African diaspora community and back in the continent. May 5th to the 7th, 2023, join us in Washington, D.C. for the Diaspora Investor Expo, bridging opportunities between the United States and East Africa. Visit our website for registration and more information at www.onevoiceconsortium.org. Together, we uplift lives.
We know how stressful it can get to take care of the healthcare needs of your loved ones, especially when they live far away from you. Money transfer services have expensive fees. They cannot ensure that your money is spent on the intended healthcare needs. And there are many questionable pharmacies that sell low-quality, unsafe, and even counterfeit medications. That is why we created Diaspora, a secure, quick, and cost-effective way to pay for the medications of your loved ones through our network of accredited and registered pharmacies. So here's how it works. Meet David. He lives far away from home. Unfortunately, his mother was recently diagnosed with diabetes, but she can't afford her new medication. So after funding his Diaspora account, David enrolls his mother as a beneficiary, and a unique PIN code is issued. Think of this as a digital voucher that David paid for in advance. David's mother presents the PIN code at one of our accredited and registered in-network pharmacies. The cost of her medication is deducted from David's account, and his mother can walk in and out of the pharmacy with the medication she needs. It's as easy as that. David can also assign his uncle who lives close to his mother as a caretaker to help her follow the new diabetes treatments. For extra security, David can also create one-time PIN codes and manually confirm and approve medication purchases too. It's easy to send more money home and hope they got spent on buying safe medication. But what if you can have control over how your money is spent, gain access to safe and quality medication, and purchase multiple medications for multiple family members who are in need? Your money goes a lot farther, and healthcare becomes a lot more inclusive. Diaspora Care was created by Diaspora members for Diaspora members that help provide greater access to safe, quality, and affordable medications for your loved ones back home. It's time for your loved ones to get the quality medication they need, and for you to get the peace of mind you deserve. Sign up today and register your loved ones for free at diasporacare.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much for coming to this particular show, where we are continuing to expound a little bit more about our One Voice Consortium Diaspora Expo, May 2023. So before we start the show, I would love everyone of the panelists, each of you actually, to say a little bit about yourself, your profession, and why you are here today. So let's start from Dr. Trufena Choti. Go ahead, Dr. Ari.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, Engineer Kebwato. Thank you so much for the invitation to be part of this KBL TV panel. My name is Dr. Trufena Choti, the founder and CEO of Africa, a non-profit organization based in Western Maryland, the Greater Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, using the power of food to strengthen diaspora families. We run this organization together with my husband, who is a co-founder, and we are impacting 700 families weekly that access food. I have a background in international development, having worked in the space for over 20 years, supporting various African governments to implement projects that are school-based, because I have an education background. I look at the intersection of nutrition and educational outcomes, how we can support children to have access to school meals so that they can do better. I'm a champion that every child it's a right for every child to have a school meal, a breakfast and a lunch provided at the school setting so that they can learn. As a teacher, I know that it means a lot to have children who are well fed to be able to learn and perform well. So I'm happy to be part of the office where I hold the food security portfolio and preparing for the upcoming Expo. I bring to this organization a deep knowledge of the African countries, having worked with over 20 governments in Africa and also community organizations in the diaspora and back in Africa, as well as expertise in education and food sources. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Sorry, thank you so much. There was an audio lag there. Thank you very much, Dr. Trufena Choti. Now let's go directly to Mr. Martin Anyoli-Mark. Mr. Martin, you are muted. Mr. Martin, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. Thank you so much.
Don't mute from your end. Don't mute from your end. We'll mute from here. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to this interview. And as you said, my name is Martin Anyoli-Mark, and I'm also the chairman for the Kenyans in Jacksonville and Northeast Florida. And my background, of course, has been in environmental issues, and I'm an activist for environmental sustainability and sustainable development. So I did work with the Greenbelt movement back in Kenya with Wangari Maathai. I also worked with Kenya Energy and Environment organizations in Kenya, and later on worked with the UNDP here in the United States, where I'm based, and also UNDP on desertification and arid areas restoration. So I'm happy to be a member of the OVC, which is a one voice consortium for all diaspora, which is exactly what environmental sustainability, environmental and sustainable development is all about. We want to speak with one voice on all the issues because they're all correlated. And thank you so much. I'll let Mr. Engineer give others a chance to introduce themselves.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. Now let's go straight to Bwana Steve Kisandu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Engineer Kiboto. And also I'd like to thank the panel for being able to share their perspectives today with me. I'm a trained financial economist, and I've been working in the banking or financial industry for over 20 years. I've worked with several financial institutions in a Fortune 500. I'm also an adjunct professor here in the Columbus, Ohio area, teaching business courses. During the course of my career, I've also worked with the United Nations headquarters in the areas of economics and financial, economic and social affairs in general. I'm also associated with the One Voice Consortium, and also will be participating in the upcoming event, May 5 to 7 in Washington, D.C., the Investor Expo, which will be showcasing the opportunities that are currently available in the island of Zanzibar. This is through a CPS Diaspora. That's the project we're working on. And also, I'm originally from Tanzania, which is just across from Zanzibar. Zanzibar is also part of Tanzania, for those who are not familiar. I'm a strong supporter of the diaspora engagement here in North America, as well as in the continent of Africa. So I look forward to share my perspectives and also share ideas with the group so we can move forward to support the mission of the One Voice Consortium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that brief introduction. And now we are in the field. Let's now focus on what we are here for, specifically for the OVC Expo 2023. Dr. Trufena, I've known you for a good number of years. I might look young, but most people don't know that I'm an old guy. That one is a byline. Don't worry about it. But I've actually known you for quite a number of time, and I've really known your husband from Kenya. You guys are really doing an amazing job. I remember when he even went down there to compete to become an MP. I don't know what really happened this particular time. Whether you told him no, you need to stay, you need to stay back, whatever. But you've really tried your level best to ensure that the African government adapt a strategy of whereby they're making sure that we've got food security. So from the OVC perspective, why do you think the Africa Expo 2020, the Africa Diaspora Expo 2023 is a movement, or is really going to ensure that the African government really understand why we need food security, and why are you really in this particular group to ensure that the people of Africa and America, because we are talking of bridging business between Africa and America. Why do you think this is a great opportunity for us as the African diaspora? Sorry, I've asked you so many questions. Just start by whichever one you want. Thank you. Go ahead, Dr.
Thank you so much, Engineer Kebweto. I think the diaspora really has a very critical role to play. First of all, the Open Expo that is coming up, it is an exhibition of investors and traders, the people, and for an higher bring people from East Africa to interact with the diaspora. Look at what else is available. Obviously, the platform that is bringing the diaspora community to be able to. If I can give an example of Kenya, Kenya just created a department of diaspora. I tell you that we are in a new administration, and the NSC, the President Ruto government, we give him credit because it's the first government that has diaspora friendly. We have a channel through the appointment of the principal secretary for diaspora. We have an opportunity as the diaspora community. And I want to tell you that, what we know is that the African governments, Kenya in particular, has more to gain from its diaspora community. Why? The diaspora community is composed of the most talented people that can give back to the community. When we are talking about food security, Engineer, I want to tell you that for the diaspora community, amazing things happen when the diaspora community comes together to share the ideas, learn from each other. We can move the continent. And if I share a little bit, because I have traveled widely in the African continent, working with over 20 African governments, one-on-one, how can we improve food security for the school systems? Africa, at the moment, we must be sick and tired on being on the menu of the Western world. We have the richest continent in terms of resources. Africa has the largest arable land in terms of acreage, and yet our people die of hunger. Have you imagined why we still are a client of food aid? We are getting food aid when we can do it. So this is the time, this is the moment for African diasporas to give back. When we all come back and sit around the table, actually it's time for us to make the table and sit around the table. And I want to tell you, Engineer, there are enough seats on the table for this Diaspora Expo. It's a movement that we want to start. Recently, last week, we had African presidents sit in a food summit in Dakar, Senegal. And I want to give you an example of the Zimbabwean president, Emerson Mnangagwa. He had a very brilliant idea. Remember, Zimbabwe used to be the food bed of Africa, and then things changed and there was so much food insecurity. They started there and they decided, what can we do? They discovered that what they needed to do is to calculate how much food does the population need and how much acreage do we need so that we can cultivate that food. You know what? They started making that happen. They are making now their own fertilizers. So those are lessons we can learn from the East African community. How can Kenya start making their own fertilizers so that we can stop depending on Russia for fertilizers, because we are still getting fertilizer from Russia. Then there's a war between Ukraine and Russia going on, and that's affecting local farmers in getting access to fertilizer they need. So there's more we can learn, and I think that the moment has come for us to bring the top-notch businessmen, doctors, teachers, lawyers. Let's come on the table. The diaspora, it's a moment to reclaim our position in the world as a first world. Thank
very
you.
much, Dr. Choti. That is wonderful. I mean, that is, you are really a travel person. I thought you didn't actually get that information I mean, Dr. Mwanagawa. I don't know, the name is a little bit hard to pronounce. It gives us a challenge, especially people from South Africa. But the president of Zimbabwe really shocked the whole world. I mean, he shocked not only Africa, but the whole world that they are manufacturing their own fertilizer. And this question now goes directly to Mr. Martin Anyoni. Bwana Martin Anyoni, you are an expert in environmental sustainability and reliability. When you hear those words from President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe, what really crosses your mind that Africa can be self-reliant, they can have food security in Africa? So what are we really lacking in other countries?
Thank you, Bueto. I think I have a little bit of a speaker issue on your side. Can you hear me?
Did you get the question?
Okay. So I'll try to answer your question. As the coordinator on sustainable development in the Expo, we are trying to get business people, government leaders, and local people to help with to come together to see how we can attain sustainable environment and development at the same time. We are trying to get people to come and showcase technologies on environmental issues, technologies on development that will not affect our environment at the same time. And we have examples of such activities going on back home. For instance, in my work with the Greenbelt movement, which has helped to reforest a lot of land back home. We planted trees, but we also provided jobs to the local community. And now, for instance, the issue of poverty in our country is affecting how our environment is degrading. Besides other issues, but poverty has been one of the most number one degrader of our environment. How can we help our people and especially the youth back home to get involved in developing our communities and our environments at the same time? And I have an example of one such organization in Kujulu. They started what we call a resort, and this resort in Kujulu, Komange village in western area. What they did, they reclaimed sand harvesting site and started planting trees for the last 10 years. And what has happened is this environment or the Kujulu area, the resort area, has become forested again. So such initiatives by the local people, for the local people, has helped helped with the re-environmentalizing local areas and also providing jobs for the local people. So they buy seedlings from the people themselves. So they encourage people to plant those seedlings and grow them, and then they come back and buy from them. So that's providing jobs for the local area and especially the youth. So we're trying to encourage people to come to this expo and showcase such initiatives that can help with developing our country without degrading the environment. And a lot of people will ask, what is sustainable environment or sustainable development? This is it is a way of developing and providing needs for the people at present without affecting the needs of the future generations. So we may think that as a business person, you pollute the river, it is not going to affect our future generations. But just by destroying that ecosystem in that river, in that lake, you are destroying the ability for the future generations to be able to generate food from that river, generate clean water from that river. So it is through this expo we want to educate the people and also offer other experts, other leaders, other technology producers to come and showcase those talents, that information, and we have a lot of people who know about the green technologies. They can come and put those exhibitions on there for other people to know. And the people in or what we call the diaspora have a lot of information on green technology, on sustainable development from these countries we live in, and we can take that knowledge back home and create a better society for ourselves. Thank you, Buona Engineer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martin. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. You will answer my question next time when you will definitely have to answer my question. Don't worry about the audio. You definitely have to answer my question because I also wanted you to connect, sustainability and the food security in Africa, whereby the Zimbabwean president actually did shock the world by claiming or saying, we need to get those facts on the table. But he claimed that Zimbabwe right now is self-reliable, reliant on wheat production, corn production, and other agricultural products. So we really want to get that information. How did he manage this within a few years actually in power? But we'll answer the question later. Let's go to Bwana Steve Kisambi. Bwana Steve Kisambi, what are you really bringing on board for the Africa Expo 2020?
Oh, thank you, engineer. So on my hand, we oversee as a platform that engage all the diasporans. We're going to be showcasing the opportunity that are currently available in the island of Zanzibar through CPS Diaspora. That's what we're doing. And that's what we're going to be showcasing at during the event from May 5 to 7, those 3 days. So in the case of, just to relate to what Martin is alluded, what's going on in Zanzibar, there's various projects. And one of the projects is to develop the urban infrastructures. And just like some of the other parts of the world, we're also our projects or the projects in Zanzibar are based on the environmental sustainability. You can't separate the three. There's I think you guys have heard about the ESG, those three, the acronym, environmental, social, and governance. Those are not separate. They all go together in order for on an individual level, community, or also society be able to achieve the zero carbon emission and to have the better lives for for citizens. So as part of what we're going to be showcasing is to show you that it's doable. You can develop new towns or new cities. Also being environmentally conscious. So it is a various of projects that's going on in Zanzibar because the new government has decided to open up Zanzibar and be inspired by other parts of the world that are doing well, places such as UAE, Dubai, Mauritius, and so forth. So there's a lot going on. So that's what we'll be showcasing during the event. But also, I just want to piggyback to what Martin and also Dr. Choti has indicated, that I think when it comes to why things are not done in Africa in particular, as far as the food security, as well as the sustainability, I think to me, my perspective is just the political will in the leaderships. As you know, that there's three questions maybe I should pose. Number one is what keeps us awake at night as leaders, as managers, as individual, on an individual basis, as well as the community. That's question number one. The second question would be how do we measure success? I think there's a problem there. How do we measure success? And also, where do best ideas come from? So now I can link that to the upcoming event in May 5 to 7, the event of Investor Expo, which we're talking about. That's a platform to me where ideas can be shared. Because what we do with ideas, we embrace the ideas, we explore, we share, and also we enhance those ideas to make the world a better place. So that would be the place to be. I would encourage every person in diaspora and the people on the ground in African continent to come and participate to this grand or this big event that is coming.